Hello friends, in this video we'll be discussing two logical functions in Excel, that is and or. So at the basic level we'll be discussing these two logical functions. So let's begin. The AND function. So this is one of the logical functions in Excel and it is used to check more than one condition at the same time. So the returning value, the output of this AND functionality is either true or false. So the system checks, when we use the AND functionality, it checks whether the statements or the conditions or the logical tests that we have given, all of them are satisfying the condition or meeting the parameters or not. So if all of them are meeting the parameters, then the result will be true. If any one of the conditions is not matching, not fulfilling the condition, then the result will be false. So this function tests two or more conditions to see if they're all true. It can be used to test that a series of numbers meet certain conditions. So you can give conditions and use the AND function to check whether all of them are meeting the conditions. It can be used to test that a number or a date falls between an upper and lower limit. So you can use this AND function for both numbers and date. So to compare the numbers and the dates for upper limits and lower limits, you can use the AND function. Normally the AND function would be used in conjunction with a function such as if condition, again another logical function in Excel. So and if they are used in combination, but we are not covering if condition here in this session. So only the basic AND function, how it works in Excel. So the syntax for AND functionality would be is equal to AND test1, that is your logical test number 1, comma logical test number 2, like this. You can go on adding up to 30 numbers. Formatting, you don't need a special format for this functionality. When used by itself, it will show true or false. So the normal format will do for this. So now to illustrate this, I have two sets of data in column A and column B here. So there are two different values, 500 and 800. Let's say my condition is greater than or equal to 100, right? So I want to see whether this number, this value satisfies this condition. At the same time, the second value, column B, that value also satisfies the same condition. So if both of these satisfy the condition, then the result should be true. So any one of them fails, then it will be false. So let's use this AND function. So as per the syntax, is equal to AND open bracket, select the first value, that is A4. So I'll type it here, A4. My condition is greater than or equal to 100. So is equal to, sorry, A4 greater than or is equal to 100, comma, now the value which is in column B, B4, to check whether this is also greater than or equal to 100. So this is the AND functionality I have used with the condition here. Condition is should be greater than or equal to 100. So let's see the result. It is true because both these numbers 500 and 800 are greater than 100 or equal to 100. So when we use this same function for the next value, say again is equal to AND open bracket, now A5 greater than or equal to 100, comma B5 this time greater than or equal to 100. Now let's see the result. It is false because one of the value is satisfying the condition, the other one is not. So the returned value will be false. So one of the statements is false. So when we do the same thing for the next one, and is is equal to and open bracket greater than or equal to 100. This is B6. Now again it says false because the first value, that is A6, is less than 100. So one of them is failed here. Second one, though it fulfills the condition, but the first one has failed, so the returned value will be false. So you can use this you can use this functionality for a single value also. Say for example, I have 12 here. So if I want to check whether 12 is greater than 10 and less than 100. Okay, so I'm giving two conditions related to the same value, right? So let's see, is equal to and again open bracket 12 is greater than 10, then again B7 less than 100. So 12 is greater than 10 and less than 100. So two conditions I have given. Now the value should be true because both the parameters are satisfied. Let's take another example here. Say for example, I have a student and there are marks scored by the student for say maths, English, so now I have two different scores, two different marks for two different languages, right? So I want to see whether the output is true or false. So if it is true, that means the student has cleared all the tests. Say for example, my condition is greater than or equal to 35. So 35 being the minimum marks a student needs to score in an assessment in a subject, right? So if we apply this formula here, is equal to and greater than or equal to 35, another subject greater than or equal to 35 again. Now the result is false because one of the subject the student has scored less than 35, right? So the final result will be fail for the student. So using the AND function we can get either true or false. So for example, if another student we have, say, who has scored both the subjects more than 35. So for this student, if we use the AND function again here, is equal to AND this one greater than or equal to 35, then the second subject greater than or equal to 35. So now the result will be true. That means the student is passed in the examination, right? So you can use this for multiple scenario situations. Say if you are working on the invoice status, so whether the invoice is paid or not, or if you are categorizing the number of documents which have high dollar value, so you can use this functionality and get the output. The next function is OR function. This is another logical function in Excel. So in this case, the OR function is very much similar to the AND function. The only difference being this function tests two or more conditions to see if any one of them is true. So when you give a series of conditions, if any one of them is satisfied, if that is fulfilling the conditions, then the output will be true. So if all the statements are not meeting the condition, then the output will be false. It can be again used to test that at least one of a series of numbers meets certain conditions. So the requirement is at least one should be meeting the condition. Again, it can be used with the if function. The syntax for this would be is equal to or into the bracket, you will give the test logical test number 1 comma logical test number 2. Like this we can go on adding up to 30 numbers. Formatting, again you don't need a special formatting for this. So illustration again, so I have two different scores for the people here. So I want to check, I have two different conditions, so let's check them with the OR functionality. So let's say my first condition is the B column, the value in the B column should be greater than 75 and the value in column C should be equal to 100. Okay, so these are my two conditions and I'm going to apply that with the OR function. Let's see what will be the result. So it's equal to, here we put OR, open the bracket, then we select B4 which should be greater than 75 comma C4 should be equal to 100. So these are my two conditions. Now my output will be true because one of the condition is fulfilled. 90 is definitely greater than 75, but 75 is not equal to 100. So out of these two conditions, one condition is satisfied, that is B4 greater than 75. So I'll get the result as true. Let's check for the second one, is equal to OR 60 greater than 75, 50 is equal to 100. Now both the conditions are not fulfilled here. 60 is not greater than 75, at the same time 50 is not equal to 100, so the end result output will be false. For the third one, or again 58 greater than 75, 75 is equal to 100, false because none of the condition is satisfied. The third one, or greater than 75, 100 is equal to 100. Now we get the output as true because the second condition is satisfied here. Okay. So the last one is equal to or greater than 75 is equal to 100. False because again no condition is satisfied. So these are two basic simple logical functions you can use, and or. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to get more notifications on videos like this. Thank you.